Welcome to Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. We have hung around for a while today trying to get this game underway. I think it's been about a 4-hour delay at this point. And so we're ready to go. We hope you are as well. And the Astros will finish things up with the Orioles today, and they'll do it with a new man in the fold as Yuli Gurriel comes up from AAA. And he's a bat that is supposed to make this offense that's been pretty potent the last couple of days even more so.
Well, I tell you what, I want to see the potent bat continue to do what he's done in the minor leagues. We've seen some flashes of brilliance with Yuli down there, but this Astros ball club is swinging the bats quite well. Hopefully he mixes right in there and adds some fuel to that fire, so to speak. We've waited a long time not only to see him in a big league uniform, we've waited a long time to see his name in that lineup, and now we have a chance here after a good 5-hour rain delay to get this thing going. So hopefully they've saved some of those some of that power to have Yuli in that lineup to add to it.
And now here's our Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. As we look at it, top to bottom, George Springer in that top spot, followed by Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve. They've been swinging it well. Carlos Correa, Evan Gattis, Yuli Gurriel. He prefers to be called Yuli. And the bottom three, A.J. Reed, Marwin Gonzalez, and Teoscar Hernandez.
Long awaited starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles tonight is Giovanni Gallardo. He's going to come at you with a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup mix. He has had a lot of appearances against these Houston Astros. In his career, he is 15-4 with a 3.11 ERA.
And the first pitch of the day is a strike called, taken by George Springer, who has been a hot hitter here in the series. And he's been a big part of why the Astros have been able to put so many runs on the board. 8 for 13, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs for George. Sees the count even at a ball and a strike. That 8 for 13, a cool 615 clip for Springer. And he's jumped that batting average up in the process. 266 overall on this season. Pitch right on the hands. It's 1-2. Springer has scored 6 runs over his last couple of games.
Astros with 32 runs scored in this series so far.
Season high 4 hits on Friday night. The Orioles took the opener. The Astros have taken the next 2 as the count is now at 2-2.
Fans that have stuck around expected to see a large strike zone, not getting it.
There's Yuli, and he'll get his first taste of major league pitching this afternoon, or evening as the case has turned out to be. 2-2 pitch. Soft liner into center field, and a great catch by J.J. Hardy. Look, for a moment like that may pop out of the glove, but not so. Hardy with a great play to start the game.
He's been getting loose for the last 5 hours. George testing him with this line drive. Broken bat, got in on him a little bit, tried to sneak it up the middle, but J.J. was there. Rattled around a little bit.
Yeah. So 1 out. Alex Bregman comes to the plate, another guy who's been swinging it very well. Batting average now up to 238. 3 major league home runs, and they have not been cheapies. Hits one high in the air out toward left field. Nolan Reimold playing out there this evening, and he'll make the catch. Bring up Jose Altuve, your major league leader in batting average, in hits, among the leaders in numerous categories. He's hit in 5 straight coming in. He's had a season high of a 12-game hitting streak. 2 for 5 last night. He's just continuing to do what he does so well. He's hit .483 over his last 36 road games. 5 dingers, 32 RBIs in that span. And he pops one up on the infield right side. Jonathan Schoop, the second baseman, he'll put it away, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 first inning for the Astros. Seen here in abundance earlier in the afternoon. It led to a roughly 4-hour rain delay. We're scoreless after the half inning of play, and for the Baltimore Orioles, as they'll get it underway against Dallas Keuchel. Adam Jones leads it off, followed by Steve Pearce, who had a home run and one at bat yesterday. Manny Machado in the 3 spot. Middle 3, Mark Trumbo, Jonathan Scope, and Chris Davis. In the bottom 3, J.J. Hardy, Francisco Pena, and Nolan Reimold.
On the mound for the Houston Astros, Dallas Keuchel. A couple of starts ago, he got his 4th complete game shutout against the Texas Rangers. Yet the start after that went 5 innings and gave up 6 earned runs against the St. Louis Cardinals. This will be his 5th career start against these Orioles. He is 1-2 in that career with a 3.46 ERA.
And the first pitch to Jones, hitting the air to right field and fairly deep as Springer goes back onto the warning track. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch for Keuchel and 1 out. Now, it would appear after the lengthy rain delay that the guys are up there to swing the bats.
They're a little anxious right now, aren't they?
It's got that feel of a final game of the season. Steve Pearce stands in. 11 dingers, mentioned the home run he hit in last night's game, hitting .308 overall.
Guys are trying to get out of here quick on the first game of this day-night single header.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? Pearce has hit in 3 straight. Doesn't get a whole lot of playing time for the O's. He'll drive one to right center field. Gliding over Hernandez. Teoscar right onto the edge of the warning track makes the catch. A couple of long fly balls. It is not the Dallas Keuchel style of last year, creating ground ball after ground ball, but he does get 2 quick outs.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that too, Ash. Last year for Dallas Keuchel, it was 62% of the time he got those ground balls. Fly ball percentage was right around 17 last year. Those numbers, that 4% has moved into that fly ball percentage has jumped to 21%. Therefore, the ground balls have dropped down to 58%. So that goes right into what you're talking about.
And you keep in mind that last year Dallas had his biggest strikeout year of his career. He struck out just under 8.5 men per 9 innings. So there wasn't a lot of room there after all the ground balls you mentioned and then the strikeouts for fly balls. But it's been a different look this year for Dallas. He's allowed a little over 9 hits per 9 innings on the season. Brings a strike at the knees. Whereas last year that figure for Dallas was a very impressive 7.2 hits per 9 innings. And that was the case over a league leading 232 innings. He allowed just 185 hits. He faced more hitters than any other pitcher in the league, 911. And now 3 balls and a strike. Chopper goes foul. A fill it on Manny Machado, having another very good season, hitting .303, 28 home runs. He was part of that big 4 home run first inning for the Orioles a couple of nights ago. Again, chops at third base side, off the glove down at third base of Bregman. Very tough play was setting up, and Bregman couldn't come up with it cleanly. We'll see how it's ruled. It is a base hit for Manny Machado. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a Manny Machado being the guy that hits the ball, but as that forced Bregman back, is going to be really tough.
Yeah, that was a tough hot. It hit, kind of hit the dirt area in front. You can see it's a little bit of a slip and slide in foul territory, but that second hop had so much top spin on it, and being an in-between hop just ate up Bregman. Nothing he could do about that. Just hope he doesn't blow anything out going into that foul territory again.
Machado aboard for the cleanup man. Mark Trumbo leads the major leagues with 36 home runs. Has driven in 89 for these Orioles. He's been a key cog in what they've done offensively, and they are one of the really good offensive clubs. 0 for his last 6 now in the series. Keuchel with a 2-1 count. Trumbo, also one of the 4 Orioles to homer in that first inning 2 nights ago. First time in Major League history. It was mentioned yesterday that a team had hit 4 home runs to start a ball game without an out happening. They were not 4 consecutive. But in that inning, slow roller Bregman will barehand throw and get in. Beautiful play by Alex Bregman as he gets Dallas Keuchel out of the first inning. No runs a hit. They leave a man. We're scoreless after 1.
You want me to just... No, you late. We welcome you back to Camden Yards, top of the 2nd. No score between the Astros and Orioles, and you are watching the grounds crew at work again here at Camden Yards, rolling that tarp back out. The rain has started to fall again. Blummer and Ash, I have no words for what I'm watching right now.
Yeah, Julia, you actually said a little too much for my liking right there. What would be your worst nightmare right now, Blummer?
You're seeing it. Are you kidding me? I'm just glad we were off air with some of the things I was thinking and saying out loud, but this is ridiculous.
So the tarp is coming out again. We've got very dark skies, and that's been pretty much the case throughout the afternoon. But it's a light rain. It's not overly heavy. We've been watching one of the grounds crew members, in fact, the head of the grounds crew for the Orioles, come out and talk with the umpires each of the last couple of half innings. And obviously there was some talk about rain that's coming, and here it is. So all we can do is watch and wait at this point. We've got 1 inning in the books. And so with a scoreless ball game after 1 inning of play, we will take a quick break, and we'll come back and check and see what's going on here on the field in Baltimore. We'll be right back.
Astro fans will become accustomed to, because they are young, they're under club control, and those should go out there and produce according to everything that we've heard and all the prospects that we've heard about as far as scouting reports.
So there's Alex Bregman. He hasn't played a whole lot in the big leagues yet, starting to swing the bat well. Your impressions to this point?
I'm impressed. It's not too many guys that can break out of a 2 for 38 slump like he did. You got to have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, a little bit of arrogance that I think is good, and I think he's got a good piece of it. He's been going out there and swinging the bat well of late. And I think he also had a little bit of the clubhouse. He didn't go in there and tick off too many guys. I think they were supporting him the rest of the way, therefore allowing him to go out there and do what he can do. I also think that A.J. Hinch maybe had a conversation with Alex Bregman saying, hey, I don't care what you're doing right now. I'm going to put you in the 2-hole until you get going. Just take your time, figure it out, and we'll rely on that bat when it shows up, because he's been playing great defense, and he's now swinging a great bat. So I think that he's going to become a mainstay in that lineup for the Houston Astros.
I think AJ's done a really nice job with the young guys. AJ Reed, another one of the guys. And for AJ, obviously, he needs to get it turned around. We look like we're about ready to play some baseball once again as we embark upon the second inning. And for the Astros, it'll be Carlos Correa, the cleanup man, leading off, followed by Evan Gattis and Yuli Gurriel, as he'll bat in the 6th spot today. Gallardo set to work it. Oh, it's not easy on anybody involved with the game when you have to wait this long, but for the players to sit around all day back in the clubhouse, it's hard to keep the focus. And now you try to come out and swing the bat well, and the Astros went down 1-2-3 in the first inning. Carlos Correa tries to get something going here in the second, hitting .270 on his year, and takes inside. Had a lot of free swinging in the first inning. I think a lot of the thought can be on a day like this is to try to move the game, at least get the 5 innings and complete a ball game at some point. Of course, you're always trying to win, but Blummer, you know, you've been in games like this as we again have another 30-minute rain delay. So we've had about 4 hours and 30 minutes, 4.5 hours of rain delays today. How hard is it to keep that focus on a day like this?
It is hard. And you know what else? I know that there's a lot of veterans in that Baltimore Orioles clubhouse, so they've been through situations like this over the course of their careers. What's kind of interesting is that Houston Astros clubhouse, there's a lot of rookies in that dugout, in that clubhouse. Trying to figure out how to deal with these rain delays can be tough sometimes if you've never had to do it.
Giovanni Gallardo brings it at 87. 3 balls and a strike as Correa leads off here in the second inning. George Springer led off the ball game, and a little soft liner looked like it might find center field, but J.J. Hardy made a very nice play to rob him. And now on a good hitter's count, it's a leadoff walk for Correa. He'll be aboard for Evan Gattis. And that'll bring Yuli Gurriel out to the on-deck circle. Wonder, as he's kind of in that rookie status right now, but a guy who's played professional baseball for a long time, how this is all impacting him. Evan Gattis has hit safely in 3 straight. He's been swinging with power. He's earned the right to be in this lineup one way or another, but he grounds one to short. It'll be Hardy, Scope, and Pierce as they complete a double play. 6-4-3. We turn to Julia.
Thanks, guys. As Yuli comes up to bat here, just a disappointed look on his face when it began to rain once again. Had the batting gloves on, was ready to go, and he is learning English. And what he said to me right as he came back into the dugout, he said, in Japan, when I went over there, rain first day. So he has been here, done that as far as rain delays on his first day somewhere, but here he is about to make his major league debut.
So this should be fun. Thanks, Julia. Yuli again is what he prefers to be called. And that first pitch is taken low. He's a guy that appears to be quite a free swinger. Hit a bunch of home runs as he's played internationally. Big free rip right there on a breaking ball left up.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be one of those rookies that's intimidated by the spotlight. Like you said, has plenty of professional experience. He's played in the World Baseball Classic. He's seen the spotlight. This is Major League Baseball, and he is excited to be here. And you can never discount the journey that some of these Cuban players have taken to get to the big leagues too.
Signed with the Astros as a free agent on July 16th. A little over a month later, he finds himself in the major leagues.
Worked himself into a great hitter's count. Let's see if Gallardo brings him the cheese.
Considered one of Cuba's top players over the past several seasons. Made 4 stops in the Astros minor league system since signing back in July. Drills one back up the middle. So that takes care of that. First major league at bat, solid base hit to center field. Gurriel aboard and welcome that bat to the lineup.
That is beautiful to see off the bat of Ulieski. We look at the location of that pitch on our MD Anderson strike zone. He did get the fastball up, elevated out over the strike zone, and the aggressiveness of Uli gets the barrel on that and laces it up the middle.
That's pretty. So Gurriel aboard. Known for the bat, not so much the speed, stolen bases type of game. A guy that you hope in the heart of the order can help drive in some runs, protect Carlos Correa, Evan Gattis. A.J. Reed grounds one right side. That's off the glove of Pierce as he dives to his right, and that'll be an infield single. So back-to-back hits with 2 outs by Gurriel and Reed, and the Astros try to kickstart something here in the second inning. It'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez.
Sometimes that infield can be a tough track, even though that they've gone out there and covered it up. There's still going to be moisture underneath. C.D. Pierce gives it the best effort he can. In doing so, knocks it away from any chance of making a play on that for Jonathan Scope.
For Marwin Gonzalez, it's been a tough go recently. 0 for his last 15. Trying to snap that. Get the Astros out on top here early. Skies are still threatening, but it has lightened up a bit as Marwin takes a strike. Funny how it goes in this game. Marwin Gonzalez just recently had a career best 13-game hitting streak, and now riding an 0 for 15 as he stands in. And 0-2. Another peek at Gurriel as you get another angle to look at it.
Solid line drive, and see if the guys on the bench enjoy it. George is like, yeah, of course he gets a base hit on this first at bat.
You kidding me? Is it really that easy?
And you see Ulieski is wearing the number 10. That used to be Gary Pettis' number. Gary Pettis is now wearing the number 8.
Well, I guess when you've played professionally for a number of years and done very well, you get to pick your number coming in, huh? 1-2 on Marwin. July 26th, Marwin had his first multi-homer game in the big leagues.
Tell you what, Gary Pettis likes a cigar every now and then. I wonder if Ulieski imported some and got the number.
Bring some from Cuba. Might not be a bad gesture, huh?
That would be a nice gesture.
Of course, Marwin Gonzalez just continues to play all over the place. He's started at 5 different positions for the club this year. 2-2 pitch. Got him on the high heat. So back-to-back hits by Gurriel and Reed, but the Astros go down quietly. First major league hit for Gurriel. Baseball on Root Sports is presented by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Except for a little cloud cover, maybe. Scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. Yuli Gurriel, if you're just joining, has already picked up a major league hit, a solid line drive to center field. Dallas Keuchel will work it here in the second inning to the 5, 6, 7 spots of the Orioles. And you can see a sparse crowd as most of the folks, and it was a pretty good crowd early on in the day, but they have taken a hike. Pretty amazing that this many have hung around. Over 4.5 hours of rain delays to this point. But the last meeting of 7 between these two clubs on the years, and we've got some hardy Astros fans. The Astros have taken 5 of the first 6 as Dallas Keuchel gets a ground ball left side. Backing and making the play, Bregman, and out number 1. That'll bring up Chris Davis, playing in right field today. Generally the first baseman for the Orioles, but Buck Showalter continues to try to get as much thump as he can in this order each day. The Astros start the day 63 and 69.5 back in the West, as the Texas Rangers have the best record in the American League at 73 and 51. Carlos Gomez, by the way, is now the left fielder for the Texas Rangers. Ball and a strike. The Orioles in third place in the East as the Blue Jays and Boston are in front of them. Orioles 2.5 games back. 1 and 2 now. No power lacking for Chris Davis. 29 bombs on his season, driving in 67. Strike 3 called. Caught looking is Davis. Second out of the inning. First strikeout for Keuchel.
Check out the location on this. Keuchel working the edges. That is very Keuchel-esque.
Well, that's last year right there, isn't it?
That would be a good thing to see happen this year.
Great spot. Shortstop J.J. Hardy comes to the plate with 2 outs.
And we've seen flashes of that. We'd like to see a little more consistency on it.
Yeah, you're right. This type of pitch right there is what you looked at so consistently last year. You see it this year, but then it doesn't consistently stay there. Well spotted. Of course, Dallas Keuchel 7 and 12 on the season, a year that finds him with a 4.76 ERA. Chopper goes foul. And Dallas Keuchel last year in winning that Cy Young Award, 20 and 8, a great ERA at 2.48. Picked up that Cy Young Award, 5th in the MVP voting, and was a Gold Glover on top of all of that. Little chopper, and again a really good pitch from Keuchel. He'll make the play, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 second inning, and some nice spotting of pitches for Dallas Keuchel.
Kick off your weekends at every Friday night home game with the best fireworks show in town. Our next Friday fireworks spectacular is this Friday, and it's 2016 chart toppers theme. For more info, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Teoscar Hernandez leading things off in center field once again. Jake Marisnick still out, still having a few more days off with that tweaked groin he did last week in Minneapolis. But A.J. Hinch, especially with this field the way that he is, did not want to chance it on a day like this where the playing conditions might be even worse than usual, guys. And then he really needs him in Pittsburgh. That's a big outfield out there.
Thanks, Julia. No more rain dances down there, please. We go to the third inning. 9-hitter Teoscar Hernandez at the plate. The Astros have 2 hits on the day. Yuli Gurriel and A.J. Reed with those knocks. It's a ball and a strike on Hernandez. Hitting .280 with a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs. He's been productive. And drills one to left field, but coming on to make the play is Reimold. That ball hit right on the screws.
Time now for our forward spray chart. We're going to talk about George Springer a little bit. Check out some hot, cold zones. There you go, this season. And above major league averages in the red. And you can see George likes to get extended a little bit. Likes that pitch middle down, middle in. Drops the head on it, turns on it, but you can see all those pitches away. He's got power going the other way. We saw it in this series where he was able to drive a pitch on that lower outer third out of the ballpark. So likes to get extended.
George Springer, his second at bat of the afternoon.
This is that home run I'm talking about. Location down and away. Loves to let that ball travel, but again, getting those nice strong arms extended, able to drive through the baseball is good for George.
Ground ball left side. J.J. Hardy is right there to make the play. And out number 2 here in the third inning. So Springer 0 for 2 quickly on the evening. Got to bring up Alex Bregman. Just got under one in the first as he flied to left. Alex has hit safely in 13 of his last 14 now after that really tough start coming onto the big leagues. He's hit in 5 straight. 7 for 15, make it now 7 for 16 with a couple of dingers in the series. Over that 14 game span, 7 doubles, 3 homers, 13 RBIs for Alex. And again, well spotted outside edge from Gallardo.
That's pretty filthy. Gallardo doing a good job. We know that Alex Bregman likes the ball middle in. A lot of his base hits going to left field, so therefore Gallardo is going to paint that outside corner. 2 great pitches.
Almost a month ago now, July 25th was when Bregman was called up to the bigs. I think a lot of folks after 3, 4, 5 games thought, oh, this guy's not gonna hit. But you could see the good swings, and they are paying off. Strike 3 called outside edge. Gallardo, a little masterful on Bregman here in the third inning. A 1-2-3 frame. Still scoreless in Baltimore.
performance powered by Kubota takes us back to last night. A pretty dominating performance by Mike Fiers, one of his most effective of the year. 7 innings pitched, holding the Baltimore's offense to just 1 run. He was getting ahead last night. He felt very good, obviously, looked very good. But what he said, guys, you know, when I asked, how bad did you need this? He was like, it wasn't just me, it was our team too. And we talked about it last night. They hadn't gotten a start that deep into a game since Joe Musgrove did it last Friday. So that bullpen needed it, the starters needed it, this entire team needed that kind of outing.
Helps everybody on a staff. Thanks again, Julia, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 8-9-1 for the Orioles. Counts a ball and a strike. Dallas Keuchel, a very sharp looking 2nd inning. Francisco Pena with a base hit into left field. And if you're wondering, the catcher for the Orioles is the son of Tony Pena, longtime great catcher in the major leagues. Came into that at bat as a 200 major league hitter. Hit number 2 for the O's. Nobody out for Nolan Reimold. Reimold hitting .227. Got some power, 5 dingers. Hits one sharply, diving stop, Correa. Backhands to Altuve, and they try to get the double play, can't complete it. But what a play that was from Carlos Correa.
One of the better fielder's choices you're ever going to see in your life. Remember, this is a wet track out here. This ball was hit well off the bat of Nolan Reimold. Ball was almost by Carlos when he made that play, but how about the backhanded flip? Almost turned that into a double play. That's pretty impressive.
That's from the hole with that backhanded flip.
Very nicely done. Good pick by AJ too.
1 out. That leaves Reimold aboard at first base. Top of the order, Adam Jones will stand in. Yeah, I don't get it. People will say that Carlos Correa doesn't have a lot of range, but sure makes a lot of great plays. Jones flying to right field, starting the game for the O's. Dallas Keuchel with that slide step that he's used so consistently. Just the 3rd inning, scoreless game. Jones waits and tries to shoot one to right field. Ball and a strike. Adam Jones has hit safely in 4 straight coming in. Had a 10-game streak earlier in the season. Again, waits with that pitch getting deep on him and fouls it back. 1-2 the count. Jones had 11 home runs in the month of June. That was tied for the major league lead in June. Also drove in 27 in that month. And the Astros, who have hit 12 leadoff home runs this year, 6 by Altuve, 6 by Springer. Adam Jones has 4 himself. Not an easy lineup to get through, and Dallas Keuchel knows it. Adam Jones hit his 200th major league home run as an Oriole back on June 2nd. That against the Boston Red Sox. In the air, left center field, long run for Teoscar Hernandez. He'll get there. 2nd out in the inning. Back into first base, Nolan Reimold.
With the Coca-Cola Value Nights package, you get a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn for a select Monday through Thursday game, all for just $18. Get tickets for this great ballpark bargain by visiting astros.com/Coke Value or calling 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Steve Pearce stands in 0 for 1 on his day. picked up from Tampa Bay back on August 1st. Remember, this year August 1st was actually the trade deadline. The 31st of July fell on a Sunday.
God forbid the league office has to work on a Sunday.
Yeah, you can't make that happen. So that's the first time I remember. I'm sure it's happened before, would be my guess anyway, but August 1st was the trade deadline. Ball and a strike for Dallas. Matt Pierce had put up some pretty good numbers again this year while playing with Tampa Bay. Hit 10 home runs, drove in 29 over 60 games. Toronto Blue Jays leading in the East. Boston just a half a game back. These Orioles 2.5 back. Well, the Yankees have been playing better baseball recently with some of the young guys they've brought on board. And the Yankees factoring in that chase for the wild card right now. As you look at the wild card for today, the Red Sox and Orioles have the 2 spots getting in. Seattle's a game back, Detroit 3.5, Yankees 4, and the Astros at 4.5. Kansas City has moved right back into the mix. They're tied with the Astros. Those are the teams that are factoring in at the moment. The next closest club is the White Sox. They're 9 back, and for me, they're out of things. But all the previous teams, Seattle, Detroit, New York, and Houston, and Kansas City, got a shot. One and two the count. Pierce fights it off. It's the second go-around for Steve Pierce as a Baltimore Oriole. Parts of 5 seasons. Pierce now 33 years of age.
See a good changeup for a swing and miss or a ground ball.
Inside edge, caught looking is Pierce as Dallas Keuchel paints away. Second strikeout of the afternoon for Dallas.
To get on Twitter, follow us at Root Sports SW and vote in the poll. Today's question was, what are your expectations for Yulieski Gurriel this season? Extremely high, cautiously optimistic, no expectations. We'd love to hear from you. And guys, the players on this team, they have high expectations. Jose Altuve said after the news broke last night, we've heard a lot of good things and we cannot wait to play alongside him.
Thanks, Julia. And the Astros quickly have seen some good stuff. A solid base hit his first at bat. So hopefully many, many more to come for Yulieski Gurriel. Jose Altuve 0 for 1 on his day. Has an 0-2 count. Leading off here in the 4th inning. Starts the day at 366. 20 home runs. And he was not a happy guy last night when a bid for number 21 hit right on the top of the wall and came back into play. Turned into double number 36 on the year. Appeal yields palms down. The umpires today, Lance Barrett behind the plate. That was Bob Davidson down at first, Dan Iasanya at second, and Dale Scott is at third. And we'll feature that double from Jose last night a little more in the broadcast. 2-2 the count. 2 for 5 in last night's game for Jose. He's hit .483 in his last 36 road games. It's just amazing watching the guy. Grounds one left side. Manny Machado spins and makes the play. It's pretty casual down there, but he makes all the plays. Out number 1 in the 4th inning.
Most RBI by an Astros shortstop in a single season. Miguel Tejada in 2009, one of my great teammates, had 86. Dennis Menke in 1970 had 84. Carlos Correa creeping up that ladder pretty quickly there with 81 this year. Thoroughly expect him to pass it, set a new bar, and then maybe next year set another new bar.
Oh, Carlos Correa. And you may be thinking, well, he's got 84 RBIs. The 81 as a shortstop this year. Hit a big 3-run pinch hit home run in Anaheim, extra innings to win a ball game. Oh, 2 the count. Gallardo spotting it pretty well, as is Dallas Keuchel. The warning track down the right side of the field of play starting to dry out a bit. It was underwater as we began play. 1-2. Carlos hitting .270. Mr. Intensity, Jose Altuve. Chopper left side, tough play. Machado bare hands, and the throw not in time. Heck of a play, Machado, but an infield single for Correa.
Tell you what, the circumstances alone is what makes this play unbelievable. He's such a unique talent down there at third base. Big kid comes charging in. The choice to barehand this is pretty impressive. You can see him time his footwork in order to get that bare hand down there nicely and throw on the run. Wow.
Yeah, we've mentioned it. One of the game's finest third basemen, no question. One out single has Correa at first base. Evan Gattis at the plate. And Yuli Gurriel waiting on deck.
There hasn't been a home run in this game yet?
Not yet.
Man, where are we?
Apparently the rains have kind of tamped down the possibilities of the dinger, or has it? It has been the home run yard here in the series. And these Orioles lead the major leagues in dingers. The Astros started out the year strong in that category. They've tailed off considerably. The Astros are 9th in the American League in home runs, 153. George Springer leads the club. 25 bombs for George. Evan Gattis not bad, 19 of his own. Two and one on Evan. Of course, Evan Gattis just a few days ago turned 30. Game one of this series, and he had a good night offensively. He has 27 home runs hit last year in his first year with the Astros, a career high, but one more home run for Evan, giving him 20, would mean that in all 4 of his seasons in the major leagues, he will have hit at least 20 home runs. There goes Correa. The pitch, a swing and a miss, and safely into second base as the ball is dropped by Pena. Stolen base for Correa. Just a high fastball.
It's right in Evans' wheelhouse.
For Carlos Correa, stolen base number 11. He's been caught just 3 times. Astros second in the league now in stolen bases. Have a man in scoring position with 1 out. Driven to center field. Jones is going back to the track. Right at the wall, makes the catch. Alertly tagging Correa. He'll move to third base on a long fly out by Evan Gattis.
Jack in the Box is going to take us inside the box score. Tale of 2 series between these 2 ball clubs earlier in May. These 2 ball clubs got together. You can see 18 runs total. Home runs are in the parentheses and the number of hits underneath. Remember also in that first series, the Houston Astros struck out 52 Baltimore Orioles in a 3-game series. Then you see all the runs being produced. Astros going from 11 to 32 and hitting 9 home runs here in Camden.
22 home runs between the 2 clubs here in this 3 games prior to today's series. And now Yuli Gurriel at the plate, 1 for 1 in the major leagues. Solid single to center field. Chance to pick up that first RBI as Correa is at third with 2 outs.
It's pretty filthy. His first hit out of the way, maybe get his first RBI right here.
Does he make you think of anybody at the plate as you just kind of size him up?
Not yet.
Kind of wraps the bat a little bit.
Maybe Julio Franco.
Yeah, I was thinking that even Yunel Escobar, who's had a big year with the Angels this year, a little bit like this. Two 1 pitch. A good hitting count for Gurriel. In the dirt. And that'll put Gurriel aboard for a second time today, so he is singled and walked. Provides a pretty nice on-base percentage.
Batting average isn't hurting either. Some more numbers on Yuli. 15 seasons between Cuba and Japan. Those career numbers, you kidding me? 335, 250 home runs, and over 1,000 RBIs. My goodness. Been to the Olympics, played the WBC, got himself a big contract too.
And he's got a younger brother that apparently is quite a player. Got a little sunlight trying to peek through here in the late evening, early evening, late afternoon. Look at that.
Look at it.
I'm looking, enjoying every bit of it too. Francisco Pena coming out and letting his infielders know what his intentions are should Gurriel take off from first base. That first and third scenario. A.J. Reed came up with an infield single in the second inning, grounded one right side. Steve Pearce, the first baseman, took a dive at it. The ball glanced off the end of his glove and kicked into no man's land, providing that infield single. Reed at 189. Snapped an 0 for 7 with that base hit. Up the middle, that's going to find a hole and drive in a run. Gurriel digs for third base. He'll make it without a throw. RBI single Reed, and the Astros get on top 1-0.
There's a run producing first baseman. He's having himself a pretty good series here. Look at that swing on our Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Looked like it tried to be a little bit of a cutter, just stayed up in the middle of the zone. Didn't exactly barrel it up, but got enough of it to sneak it past Gallardo, and once it got past him, got into center field easily. Big 2-out hit.
So it takes into the fourth inning to put the first run on the board. That is an oddity in and of itself here in this series.
No, it's not a big deal, but it's kind of nice to see Gurriel get all the way to third base on that base hit too. So some baseball instincts right there.
Marlins swings through it.
Yeah, Marlins 1 for his last 16. Needs to catch a mistake right here and get out of that funk.
Strikeout victim in the second inning. Into left field toward the line comes Reimold. He'll make the catch. That'll do it. The Astros strike first here in the fourth inning. They get a couple of hits and a walk, lead it 1-0.
Telecast is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
1-0 Astros. To the bottom of the fourth inning we go. Dallas Keuchel has picked up a couple of strikeouts through the first three. He'll face the 3, 4, 5 hitters here in the fourth. Manny Machado leads it off, shows bunt, takes a strike. Manny Machado has one of the 2 Orioles hits on the evening. Single with 2 outs back in the first inning. On the fists as the count moves to 0-2. Great third baseman. Tremendous power, hits for batting average. One of those guys that does it all. Had a tremendous start to the season. Strike 3 called inside edge. Machado knew it as Keuchel finds the corner. Third strikeout on the evening.
Showing some mastery here early on is Dallas Keuchel. Working both sides of the plate. You can see it in our strike zone. Working the edges nicely. Gets the benefit of the call right there on that inside corner, but locked up Manny Machado when he was looking out over the plate.
Very sharp here this evening, Dallas Keuchel. Even after all the rain delays over 4.5 hours. Left side, 2 hops for Bregman. He'll make the play. He's been about as good as you want to see defensively at third base.
Yeah, he's turning into one of those guys you don't want to hit it to. How about coming into that at bat for Mark Trumbo? His on base percentage in the last 30 days, 204. That is scuffling.
And yet leading the major leagues in home runs. So, yeah, not getting on base a whole lot. With 2 outs, base is empty. Jonathan Schoop at the plate. Yeah, I wonder how many So-So fans really know or have heard of Jonathan Schoop, but he's a really good player for the O's. Drives one to left center field and deep back at the wall. This one gets out of here. That's number 19 for Jonathan Schoop, and we're right back tied at 1.
Anxious to look and see where that location on that pitch was, because it did initially, I didn't assume it was going to be all that bad of a pitch. I just think Jonathan Schoop put a pretty good swing on it. This would be a look at the location of it. Looked like a little bit of a cutter in, but it looked like Jonathan Schoop was anticipating that ball in. Watch the front hip and the front foot kind of open up a little bit early to allow space for that barrel to come through on the inside pitch and drive it.
There's another drive down the left side by Davis, and a great running grab by Marwin Gonzalez. Very nice play by the guy who mostly plays in the infield as he robs Chris Davis. Orioles strike with a long ball and tie it at 1.
To look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. This is the anniversary of that epic blast off the light standards in left field by Sammy Sosa. And those of you who have been to Minute Maid Park understand what kind of a blast that actually was. This is a good viewpoint.
I don't know if I've ever seen one hit longer than what that one could have wound up as. Those were the days, weren't they? Had Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Barry Bonds slamming away. Mike Piazza was in that mix. Who else?
in that prodigious territory right there, man, I don't know. There aren't too many be able to drive a ball into the lights. He went all Roy Hobbs on us right there.
Teoscar Hernandez lined to left field in the 3rd inning.
And Griffey.
Yep. Those were the days when players and fans alike would come out and watch Mark McGwire and some of those names we mentioned take batting practice.
Dante Bichette.
Yeah.
That guy could drive a ball out of the ballpark. Andres Galarraga, Vinny Castillo, those guys in Colorado, some of those lineups they had out there, my goodness.
Of course, Vinny came on and played a very nice third base for a while with the Astros.
Got some great calls from our stage manager, Juan Gonzalez.
Yes.
Albert Bell. Albert Bell had a season where he had 100 extra base hits.
You're talking about Joey, right?
The one and only.
Ground ball to 3rd. Bobbled by Manny Machado, and he's not going to be able to make a play. And we'll see how this is ruled as Hernandez reaches to start the 5th. It is an E5. That is rare for Manny Machado.
That's one of those borderline calls. That ball not hit very hard. Teoscar runs well, but in seeing what we've seen from Manny Machado over the years, you kind of anticipate that play being made. Set that bar extremely high.
Man aboard, nobody out, top of the order now. George Springer 0 for 2 on his evening. The Astros have 4 hits. George reacted like he might have picked that up a little bit late.
At this day and age, as much as the ball moves, yeah, that thing snuck up on him, didn't it?
Yeah. A lot of that reaction was after the ball had gone by. Hard to keep that front side in after you get buzzed. Ball and a strike. Tied at 1 here in the 5th inning. The home run by Jonathan Scope in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 23rd home run hit between the two clubs here in the series. Gallardo comes set. Gallardo in his 10th year in the big leagues. Most of that time spent with the Milwaukee Brewers, where he initially came up back in 2007. Played last year with Texas and now in the first campaign with the Orioles. Altuve gets that bat early, doesn't he? Ground ball right side, just finding the hole, guiding it through. Teoscar not stopping at second base. He'll move to 3rd with nobody out. On a ground ball base hit by George Springer, who is 1 for 3.
Kind of funny how George kind of slowed the bat down and placed that one perfectly the other way.
He's kind of guiding it through, huh?
Whatever it takes.
So nobody out, runners at the corners. Astros threatening in the 5th inning. Alex Bregman comes to the plate, 0 for 2 on his night.
We're going to take a look at our Lexus defensive rankings. Some changes in the outfield with the left-hander Keuchel out there. Adam Jones is the only red light out there. Plays a very good center field, athletic, gets to it. Going to challenge Nolan Reimhold, not out there very much in left field. And Chris Davis, the first baseman, in right field. I think we just saw how Teoscar felt about that, going first to third. We also saw Yulieski Gurriel take an extra base on this outfield on a base hit.
Oh, 2 on Alex. Little half swing going through on that fastball, running up and in, and a big first out on the strikeout. Third punch out of the night for Gallardo.
Some veteran pitching by Gallardo to get that second strikeout of Alex Bregman. Just a four-seamer running up and in. Alex Bregman unable to hold up. And as good as Alex has been going, with that strikeout he had in the third inning, he has now struck out 9 straight games, yet he is swinging a very good bat.
Nothing wrong with the strikeout as long as you're driving in runs, being productive.
Yeah, and you're having 4 ABs a game. I mean,
yep.
You know, that number shouldn't shock. It's just interesting.
Jose Altuve now at the plate, 0 for 2. There's a rarity. And taking a strike. Altuve 2 for 4 last night, scored a run, drove in a run, also drew a walk. But he'll tell you he should have gotten another home run. Drills one into left field, solid base hit. That'll play to run as Teoscar Hernandez crosses. 2-1 Astros, RBI single Altuve. It's 82 ribbies, by the way.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Most RBI by a shortstop in a season since 1951. My goodness, Miguel Tejada getting after it with 150 as a Baltimore Oriole. Also Cal Ripken, an ex-Oriole shortstop, on that list with 114. But Miggy's on there a couple of times, going for the trifecta.
Now time to pick up some more. Correa 1 for 1. He has walked and singled, scored a run, and made a great play defensively. Defense pretty much straight up on Correa. And he'll keep you that way with his ability to hit the ball to right field, drive it that way as well. Springer the runner at second, Altuve at first, very good speed. Line drive into right field, moving over and unable to make the play is Chris Davis, and that'll go to the wall. Springer scores. Altuve coming to the plate. He'll score without a throw. And we'll see how this is ruled. But the Astros take advantage and put 2 more on the board. Up that lead to 4-1 here in the 5th inning. It is a hit for Correa, a double, and 2 more ribbies.
And that ball is smoked and tough for Chris Davis. See him looking back at the turf. It is wet out here. That's usually where they dump that tarp. And then the lights come into play. There's a lot going on, especially for a guy who doesn't play right field on a regular basis, able to create an angle to keep those lights out of play.
Yeah, I think probably a couple of elements got to him, the turf and the lights. You're right. Evan Gattis hits it in the air to left field. Correa goes halfway, the catch made. Second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. Yuli Gurriel, excuse me.
The Astros have taken advantage of mistakes in this series. They're hitting the ball extremely hard and they're having great at bats. It's been fun to watch. What could be. Usually with these young clubs, you worry about the consistency, but you can see they have the talent to pull it off.
And this guy figures to make this offense tougher. Time will tell. He's 1 for 1. Picked up a solid base hit in his first Major League AB. Drew a walk in the second plate appearance. And he is here to swing the bat. Tough pitch down and away, a ball and a strike. Doesn't hurt to look up on the board and see 1,000 under the batting average, does it?
Enjoy it while you can.
Curveball taken for a strike. A lot of intensity going on the club. Correa leads from second, and that off-speed pitch raked foul down the left side. One and two outs here in the inning. Alex Bregman, all the guys just intently watching. Ground ball right side. Scope will come on and make the play, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 5th inning as they add 3 runs and turn a 1-1 game into a 4-1 lead.
Two round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines and our Want to Get Away week sweepstakes. Watch for the winning word during Astros games next week and visit rootsports.com/wantogetaway to enter and win. We talked, guys, about Fire's good night last night, holding these Orioles to just 1 run. But before that, they were hot, hitting the ball hard and out of the park. But A.J. Hinch had said, you know, with this group in this series, there have been a lot of solo homers. So we've been able to hold them a little bit better than what we could have been. You know, that the damage could have been much more with this group. And with these guys, the first time they saw him this season, he said it was a little different this time around. They made some adjustments and they were hunting the fastball a little bit more. But again, Dallas Keuchel hopefully doing what Fires did last night, guys.
Thank you, Julia. And you can hunt the fastball. That's one thing. Great location can often take care of that. And I would say here watching Dallas Keuchel this afternoon, that location has tightened up considerably again.
It has been nice, but consistency has been the issue for Dallas Keuchel.
That breaking ball working its way down and in, but hit hard. 7-8-9 for the Orioles here in the 5th inning. Hardy, Pena, and Reimold. Mike Fiers very good in yesterday's outing. 2-2. 3 Baltimore hits, 7 for the Astros. Pretty costly error that started the 5th inning on the ground ball hit by Teoscar Hernandez as he reached. Error charge to Manny Machado. That throw a little high from Carlos Correa, but very nice to have that big first baseman to go up and get it.
Jeff Bagwell would have had to show his ups to get that one. But he would have made the play.
Oh, Baggy's listening on you.
I know. I'm sure he'll let me know. No, that was one of the best conversations is when I got traded over to the Houston Astros, taking ground balls over at third base, and Baggy pulls me off to the side and he goes, "Kid, you throw that ball high, that's on you. You throw that ball low, I'll pick you up."
And he did. He was about as good as they came.
He was great. He held in forever and didn't give up on any of those low throws.
Still just the 5th inning. Dallas works in on the hands, a pop-up on the left side. Correa on the outfield grass. And the second out here in the 5th. So, Blummer, fill the fans in. How do you deal with a 4+ hour rain delay? What's your insight?
You just deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it.
What'd you do today? How did you?
Well, what I did up here is a little bit different than what I would do down in the clubhouse. That's for sure.
I'm talking about for the would-be broadcasters out there.
Oh, the would-be broadcasters?
Yeah.
Well, we know that finding a good movie or catching up on a TV series is a good idea.
Did you work that in?
But if you're a real grinder, you're getting into the the nitty-gritty of these stats and finding out some valuable information to drop on the fans that are watching.
I know you were digging pretty hard.
Well, I did all my digging before the game and then had to sit on it for 4.5 hours.
2 balls, no strikes. 9-hitter Nolan Reimold at the plate. As a player, what's it look like? Do guys bed down in their lockers as the line drive goes into left field? Solid base hit, and it gets by Marwin and goes to the wall. So extra bases. Stopping at second is Reimold, a 2-out double.
Marwin did his best to cut that ball off in the gap, and I think that he was going, judging on his speed and the angle of that ball, he thought he might have had a chance. But again, it has been raining all day long, therefore that grass is a little bit slick, and when that baseball reacts on a slick surface like that, it has a tendency to scoot past the outfielder.
So the O's put a man in scoring position. Back to the top of the order as Adam Jones will stand in. Cleveland Indians picked up a win over the Blue Jays today, 3-2 the final. Jones fouls it on the right side.
Tell you what, Adam Jones is trying like crazy to go the other way on Dallas Keuchel.
That's a pretty good matchup in Cleveland today, by the way. Marcus Stroman for the Blue Jays and Corey Kluber for the Indians. Line drive back up the middle, solid base hit. That 2-out double is going to produce a run, and a poor throw from Teoscar Hernandez up. That leaves Adam Jones a great chance to go, and he takes advantage into second base. Just a very poor throw.
Yeah, but a great piece of hitting by Adam Jones. Talked about how he's trying to go the other way, let that ball travel and see it a little bit longer off Dallas Keuchel. Does a good job of shooting it back up the middle, and what Ash is talking about as far as throws, if we watch that drive go back up the middle, watch how elevated this throw is from Teoscar. You want to keep that ball down so that the first baseman A.J. Reed can cut that ball off and keep Adam Jones from going to second base. But we might see on a replay that Carlos Correa did a good job of keeping that glove on the base runner, Adam Jones, as he slid off second base.
So the Astros will have this taken a look at. Yeah, clearly Adam Jones came off the bag. And I guess the only question now is, did that glove stay on Jones as he came off? We'll see as the umpires huddle on that third base side just outside of the Astros dugout.
So if he slides, as you look at the slide, he slides past second base, and there's the tag where you go. Adam Jones off it. That's a double, correct?
No, it is.
He doesn't get credit for the double, even though he slid past.
You have to maintain the bag.
Okay.
Yeah. I know from personal experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, so they should call this an out, and it should be an RBI single and then thrown out trying to stretch.
Nice quick call.
Yeah, they got it right in New York. They did it quickly. So that'll do it in the inning, but with 2 outs, the Orioles strike for a run and tighten this thing up a bit.
In the Orioles top 6, and Cal Ripken Jr., one of the greatest to play this game, one of the great Orioles, hit a lot of home runs in that Orioles uniform, but his 278th home run as a shortstop actually passed Ernie Banks at the time, and it was the record for the most home runs for a shortstop, and that's where I'm hanging out right now. This orange seat, the second orange seat in the house, commemorates that 278th home run for Cal Ripken Jr. Carlos Correa, the Astros own, has 39 home runs as a shortstop already in his very, very young career, guys. You can only imagine where this name is going to end up on some of the all-time list.
Very, very true. Thank you, Julia. We go to the 6th inning. The Astros on top 4-2. A.J. Reed takes a strike, has a ball and a strike as he leads it off. It'll be Reed, Gonzalez, and Hernandez here in the 6th. Gallardo brings it and misses high. Other games going on. White Sox down the Oakland A's 4-2. The Detroit Tigers hosting the Red Sox. They double up on the Bo Sox 10-5. Don't look now, but Kansas City's playing great ball. They win 2-1 as they host Minnesota. Two balls, 2 strikes on Reed. 2 for 2 on the day. And that's got him very close to getting off the interstate. Shift on in the infield. Back on Kansas City just briefly, that club has come back tied with the Astros at the start of play today at 63 and 60. So they've added one more win to that figure. Over the bag, fair, nice play by Pierce as he feeds onto Gallardo. First out here in the 6th.
Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Most home runs by a shortstop. Kyle Ripken at the top of that list, 375. There it is again. Alex Rodriguez on that list, 344 before he got traded to the New York Yankees and moved to third base. Miguel Tejada almost had 300. Good names.
Great names right there. Wish I'd been able to see Ernie Banks play more. Marwin's 0 for 2. Make that, yes, 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Towering pop into shallow right field. It's the second baseman Scope. He'll put it away. 2 down in the inning. He brings up Teoscar Hernandez. There's Miggy.
That Astros uniform, he was absolutely one of the more entertaining teammates I've ever had. And what was crazy about Miguel Tejada is that every day this guy loved playing the game of baseball, showed up, really never complained, and just enjoyed going out there. He would always have something to say to pick you back up, always had that smile on his face. Another guy that could drive in some runs. He really, thrived on those situations with guys in scoring position.
It's a great era right now of young shortstops around baseball, but Miggy was part of that great era that saw Derek Jeter and Nomar Garciaparra and Alex Rodriguez. Teoscar fouls it at the plate. 0-2 the count. Hit one hard as he lined out in the 3rd inning to left field. And reached on the error by Machado to start the 5th inning, and that kick started a 3-run inning, and it has the Astros on top in this one. Be quite a series if the Astros can come into Baltimore, take 3 out of 4 from the O's, especially on the heels of that very tough loss in game 1 of this 4-game set. Carlos Correa back at driving in runs. 2-run double in the 5th inning. 86 RBIs on the year for Carlos as he heads toward 100. Curveball hit in the air. Easy into center field. Adam Jones just gliding to his left. He'll make the catch. That'll do it. 1-2-3 in the 6th. 4-2 Houston. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa dinger to Houston Children's Charity. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box for a limited time only at participating restaurants. First pitch of the inning, hit in the air to left field. Right there is Marwin Gonzalez, and out number 1. Saw you dancing around to strangers in the night there, Blummer. Pretty nice.
No, I backed off when you grabbed my hand. I was like, dude, right? I'm not doing this.
That wasn't me. Got a pretty tight crew up here. Manny Machado stands in. 3-hitter for the O's. He'll be followed by Mark Trumbo. Dallas Keuchel has been good, allowing 5 hits. The Astros have put up 7 hits on the evening. Curveball, that finds the outside edge. I'm not sure Manny Machado's fully bought in on that call. Hot shot right to third. Bregman with the play. And 2 outs.
2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members get a voucher for 4 tickets to an Astros game, VIP access to Kids Run the Bases, exclusive autograph sessions, and more. Memberships for kids up to 12 years old are available by visiting astros.com/buddies.
2 outs. Mark Trumbo at the plate. Takes outside. Apparently Jacoby Ellsbury. Yankees outfielder made a leaping grab at the wall to rob Albert Pujols today of a 2-run dinger, and that would have enabled Pujols to hit number 584 to go past Mark McGwire. Well, Albert Pujols, after what looked like a rough start to the year, physically not the same guy, but his bat has come alive.
Now, the average isn't going to skyrocket for Albert, but as long as he can still get the barrel to it, there's plenty of pop in that bat. Just didn't have enough that time. Ellsbury got to it.
Yeah, he's been the big run producer on the Angels, club that's just having a miserable year now. 51 and 72 at the start of play. 2-out walk. That'll put Trumbo aboard for Jonathan Schoop, who homered in the 4th inning.
Second baseman, number 6, Jonathan Schoop.
The Orioles got a 2-out base hit from Machado in the 1st inning. Picked up a 2-out solo home run by Schoop in the 4th. A 2-out double by Reimold, followed by a base hit from Adam Jones in the 5th inning. And now again with 2 outs, they draw the walk to get a base runner. Out on the hands, and the count moves to 0-2.
That's a good job right there. That was very Mark Burley-esque with that, just that slight little cut in on the hands. Gives that hitter just a glimmer of hope as they recognize the pitch out of the hand, and when they start the bat through the zone, just that last little cut gets in on the hands and jams them.
That's a good comparison. You played with Mark Burley. How similar was he to what we see from Keuchel? We can talk about that as we move on. Throw into second base is high as Altuve had to come off the bag, but Altuve very alertly throws onto first, and they get the out on Schoop, and that was crucial. Poor throw there from third baseman Alex Bregman almost cost the Orioles. Are going to take a peek at this one for the moment, however. We'll see.
You can't question the instincts of Jose Altuve.
And he's just something.
Good pitch by Keuchel, jamming him, getting ground balls like we've been accustomed to seeing. But with that throw high, Altuve coming off the bag.
Ooh, that was Tough to determine right there at first base.
This will be a good look at it.
I think the Orioles may get this one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They have not determined yet if they want to look at it. Buck Showalter taking his time down in the first base dugout.
I tell you what, you want to speed things up. Make this situation right here a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's true. Showalter now says, do take a look at it. I think the Orioles are going to win this one. But back on Altuve, that's just reacting like a ball player.
Well, understanding that early on that he saw that ball up out of the hand of Alex Bregman, comes off the bag in order to turn it and try and get Scope running down to first base, and that foot's on the bag before that ball's in the back of a glove for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I don't think that's going to take a long time. So the umpires send it back to New York and review it. Full speed.
And as good as Alex Bregman's been at third base, he is still learning the position. At third base, when you charge in on a ball like that, it's easier for your momentum already going towards first base. It's easier to make that transition and that throw to first base when you're charging in on a ball like that. If that ball had taken him to his left, then go ahead and take that lead run and that easy throw at second base.
Yeah, just poor throw right there sets up what likely will be a couple of runners aboard now with 2 outs.
You just hope that maybe the replay angle doesn't show enough for those guys in New York to overturn it. You can't say enough about Altuve and what he does, and the recognition that he still had a chance to get that runner at first.
They stay with the out call. I am very surprised, but the Astros maybe catch a break as they get out of the 6th inning. Still 4-2 Houston.
Brought to you by Toyota, and we go back to last night. Top of the 6th, Altuve. He went 2 for 5. This one a double, bouncing off the wall, coming back into the field of play right there. It was ruled a double. Umpires talked it over after A.J. Hinch went and had a talk with him. Maybe a home run right there. We had to take a closer look at the wall ourselves to see exactly where that ball landed. It was not overturned, excuse me, and you can see Jose Altuve frustrated with the call there. He thought it was a home run. He said it after the game as well. But guys, the umps actually couldn't review this because Carlos Correa had already stepped into the box. So that was what happened last night. And A.J. Hinch followed that up by saying New York actually looked at it and it was not a home run, it was a double. So there you have it from the clubhouse, even though I'm sure Altuve still wants that home run. He even said, you know how hard it is to hit home runs?
All that inside information from Julia Morales. Thanks a lot, Julia.
No, that was a great explanation, especially the part about Carlos Correa being in the box and how the whole replay process unfolds.
I have to admit, I wasn't aware of that stipulation if a batter steps in the box.
I knew that was a stipulation, but I did not know that's what happened last night. So that's why I appreciate that was a great explanation of what happened.
Well, the Astros here in the 7th inning. Alex Bregman will lead it off, or rather with 1 out stand in. George Springer grounding out to start the inning to second base. So 1 out for Bregman. Giovanni Gallardo has been good here this evening. Maybe victimized by the defense. Finds himself trailing. 29,734 on hand. Or we're here in the ballpark prior to all the rain coming down. 2-2 the count on Bregman.
Diehards got themselves some good seats out of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of people hanging around after all that rain. 3-2 the count.
Good AB by Bregman. Punched out a couple of times off Gallardo, chasing some pitches here, holding his ground, making Gallardo come back in that zone. He's got himself in a hitter's count now, 3-2.
We have seen Yuli Gurriel come to the big leagues and pick up a base hit in his first major league at bat, and nothing fluky at all about it. A 1-out walk to Bregman as Jose Altuve will come to the plate. There's the top of that wall in right field where Altuve's ball hit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Whose hand is that?
That would be CP Bearcat. But again, there's that, you know, back along here, there's that ridge that's holding that padding on, and that's what that ball bounced back on, because I'm sure on the replay, if they were able to see it bounce off the pole that's behind it, that would have been a home run.
Altuve is 1 for 3. RBI single in the 5th inning. 82 RBIs for the Astros 3-hitter. Much of the year spent as a leadoff man. Can he get to 100 ribbies?
Yes.
Big swing as he pops it up. Shallow in center field. Scope going out. Called off by Jones, who makes the play. 2 down as Carlos Correa will come to the plate. Right-hander Bridwell now getting loose in the pen. Parker Bridwell.
Just called up to take the spot of Despaigne, who got called up for a day, pitched a couple innings, and right back to Norfolk. I've seen Buck make some of those moves. Seems to be the Orioles moving guys in and out of that bullpen frequently.
Kind of the nature of the game these days, when bullpens get overtaxed, you just go to the minor leagues and bring a guy or two up and keep swinging them around.
Well, it's amazing when you get these young kids in your organization. The first 3 years of their major league careers, they have options, 1 option per year to use, and that option is limitless. So these guys are on the proverbial yo-yo, going from the big leagues to AAA back and forth.
1-0 the count. Hit sharply, but at the second baseman Scope. Just a step to his left to make the play. That'll do it for the Astros in the 7th. They leave a man on the walk. 4-2 Houston. Tonight's game summary is presented by the DeMontron Auto Groups. As we see the Astros on top of the Orioles 4-2. Dallas Keuchel has been good through 6 innings of work, a couple of runs against him. Only one walk and 3 strikeouts. Carlos Correa driving in a pair, 2 for 3 on his night. Giovanni Gallardo really victimized by the defense on a couple of occasions. Jonathan Scope has homered. Solo job back in the 4th inning for Scope, his 19th on the year.
And Ulieski announcing his presence.
Yeah.
First big league AB, gets a bullet back up the middle for that hit. Much to the delight of the Astro fans still in attendance.
And I would say really good looking swings from Gurriel. Got that Pirates series coming up. The Astros will fly out of Baltimore this evening and head on to Pittsburgh. 3 with the Pirates coming up. Pirates have been playing good baseball. Doug Fister will start the action against the Pirates. Joe Musgrove then goes in game 2, and Colin McHugh in that 3rd game. And boy, the Astros need Colin McHugh to be able to step it back up. And you see the pitchers for the Pirates in that series. It's a really tough one with Garrett Cole.
Well, I tell you 3. Yeah, there are some power arms they're going to be facing. That kid at the top, Jamison Taillon, is one of their prospects coming up from AAA this year. He has an electric arm that we'll have a chance to see going up against Doug Fister. Pickup of Ivan Nova and Garrett Cole. We all know what he can do. He has pitched well in his career as a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Defensive changes for the Astros now behind Dallas Keuchel. Teoscar Hernandez moves from center to left field, taking over for Marwin Gonzalez. Jake Marisnick will play defensively in center field. And Marwin moves to first base as he picks it up for A.J. Reed. So trying to improve that defense as you get late in the game with a 4-2 lead. We hit the bottom of the 7th. Chris Davis grounds one foul. Davis on the night 0 for 2. A really nice running grab in the 4th inning by Marwin Gonzalez in left to get Davis. He is also struck out. One and 2 now. Big man to get. Davis, the 6 hitter. He'll be followed by Hardy and Pena. Off speed and a waving swing out in front by Davis for out number 1.
Shortstop number 2,
Good picture of the hand of Dallas Keuchel, creating that spin on that slider that he has. Good sharp one with that 2-strike count to get the punch out of the left-hander. And again, ideal location. Just kind of dangle that carrot out in front of the hitter and then have it break.
4 strikeouts for Keuchel. Hardy takes a strike. A good looking outing for Dallas Keuchel.
You talked about McHugh needing solid start. How about Dallas? He needed this too.
Ground ball to 3rd. Tough play over the bag from foul territory. The long throw, and able to get him is Alex Bregman. That is a heck of a play.
That is a great play. We saw him make a play going away from first base. Here, watch him plant that right foot. Stop, plant the right foot, and that's why he unloads that laser over to first base.
I'm a big fan of that. Stop and plant if you can. Otherwise, I don't think there's a prayer on that play.
Well, we saw it the other day. He caught a ball that his momentum kind of took him towards the dugout, and he had to throw back across his body, and it made a tough pick over there at first for AJ. But that right there, if you're going to get the most out of your arm strength, you're going to do that. You're going to plant that right foot, get on top of the baseball, and throw a nice four-seamer across the diamond.
He's been so good defensively at third base. It's hard to imagine changing things up with Gurriel in town. He's a third baseman. And how do you work the lineup out? Gurriel is the DH here this evening.
I'll tell you what, having played a lot of third base in my career, I truly appreciate what Luis Valbuena has done in the last couple of years, and now Alex Bregman.
Well, you're right. Valbuena has been a gem of a defensive third baseman. But it sounds as if he's still a ways from getting back in the lineup.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. Those hamstrings.
Half swing. He goes through that strike 3. Gaddis able to stop it and throw on down to first to record the out, and that does it. A 1-2-3 7th. So the Astros maintain that lead as we go to the 8th.
Will have the Astros up 4-2 here in the top of the 8th. Follow Astros Baseball Live with MLB.com's At Bat app. Stay up to the moment with game day, StatCast, live highlights, and more. Even at the game with Minute Maid Park's new Wi-Fi. Download the app for your phone or tablet now.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys at the top chatting it over. Pitching coach and Skip making sure they've got everything together. The Orioles here in the 8th inning make a change on the hill. They'll bring on a youngster, Parker Bridwell, making his major league debut.
25-year-old Bridwell with a combined 4-2 with a 4.13 ERA in 24 games. He had 7 starts between the Gulf Coast League, short season A, AA, and AAA. Wow. He has 138 career minor league games.
It's moving on through in one season, isn't it?
How about it?
Of course, that's really been the case for Yuli Gurriel for the Astros, a guy that's played internationally, as we talked about, but quickly through the Astros system. Evan Gaddis will lead it off, followed by Gurriel. And then Jake Marisnick here in the inning. First fastball thrown by Bridwell at 91 miles an hour. Tony Kemp has grabbed a bat. He's in the on-deck circle, and he will bat for that 9 or that 7 spot. Oh, and 2 the count. In this 6th spot is actually what Kemp will bat for,
which is Yulieski's spot.
That leaves me wondering. Ball and 2 strikes on Gaddis. 0 for 3 for Evan. And down on strikes. So 0 for 4 as he starts the 8th. And let's check in with Julia once again.
Thanks, Ash. Time to announce the winner of tonight's Chevy Straw Poll. And it was about Yulieski Gurriel, who is now out of the game, but we wanted to ask the fans, what are your expectations for Yulieski Gurriel this season? You say cautiously optimistic. Interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, that's okay.
No, I think that's a great call. I mean, let's be honest. We've seen some kids with high expectations when they come into the big leagues and didn't exactly get off to electric starts.
You know, we've seen the likes of Carlos Correa hit the scene and great anticipation, and
so
he's
spoiled.
fulfilled. Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't happen for everybody that way. So Tony Kemp, the pinch hitter. And again, this leaves me a little curious here in the 8th inning. Gurriel, that solid base hit, his first at bat, drew a walk the next time he came to the plate and has grounded out. Tony Kemp with an 0-2 count.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know he hasn't played a lot of baseball, but in that DH role, you figure he'd still have his legs under him because he hasn't had to play defense. He has had good at-bats. I completely agree with you on that. You know, it has nothing to do with the matchup, I don't think, because he's faced a right-handed pitcher up to this point.
Yeah. I guess my concern is that you just hope that nothing has gone wrong physically.
Gosh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would not be good. He's sitting on his numbers.
Going to carry that 500 batting average into Pittsburgh, huh? Tony Kemp's hitting .243. Done a nice job when called upon. Watches that breaking ball bend under the knees. Still at 91 is Bridwell. Strikes out his first man in the major leagues. Outfield shades a bit toward left field on Tony as he fouls it toward that side. Kemp has just one double, a couple of triples, yet to hit a home run in the major leagues. Has a 2-2 count.
Tony Kemp's been putting together some decent ABs. He's hit the ball hard, nothing to show for it, but still putting together some pretty good ABs.
You know, his numbers on the minor league side say that he's ready. I mean,
yeah. He's doing all the right things. I mean, he's a high on base percentage type guy, doesn't try and drive the ball, just continues to spray it around.
Hits it to center field on the line, but Jones comes on to make the play.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. He puts himself in great spots, has good ABs, fouls some pitches off, hits a laser right at somebody.
You know, he's likely to be a corner outfielder, left field. And normally you're looking for a guy who hits for a lot of power to play the corner outfield spots. So Tony's a little unusual in that way, but there's not a thing that you could say he hasn't done at the minor league level with his abilities to say I'm ready to play. 2 outs. And now Jake Marisnick in the A.J. Reed spot. Reed went 2 for 3 on the day. For Jake Marisnick, .215 batting average, has a ball and a strike. Bridwell misses with the heater inside. Scoreless ball game through the first 3 innings, each club with a run in the 4th. A.J. Reed had the RBI base hit in the 4th inning. Had plated Carlos Correa, who started things with a 1-out single. Drive deep down the left field side, back at the wall. Marisnick has gone yard. Nice to see for Jake. And for Marisnick, home run number 3 on his season. That extends the lead to 5-2 here in the 8th.
There you go. Just resting up to save up some of that power to drive the ball out of the ballpark. But guess what? Another home run at Camden Yards. Can you believe it?
First of the night for the Astros. So each club with one long ball tonight. Marisnick comes in to play a little defense and winds up hitting the home run to left.
I thought you said he was a defensive replacement.
That was my bad. Perfect bunt on that third base side. Maybe a little shallow. Marwin has that ball, hit him right in the back, and he's called out. And that's so tough when you're that close to first base and the bag's in fair territory. To me, that's really tough. Bob Davidson throws up the right fist and says Marwin's out.
I didn't think Marwin was running all that too far on the inside. I'm sure we're going to have a couple looks at it, but I'm sure AJ's out there saying the same thing.
When you're going down that supposed baseline lane, and it's really tough to stay in the lane and hit the bag.
I think you may have said something there that might be helping AJ's cause, because Marwin was basically on the base. He can't be inside the diamond.
That's right.
Without and still touch the base.
Watch this, how far Marwin gets himself to the bag. Now he's running in a pretty good spot, quite frankly.
He's in a perfect spot. You can't penalize a guy for that.
You don't see guys run in that base path. And the base path.
Well, look how close the chalk line is to the grass here at Camden Yards also. I mean, it's inches away from the grass. I don't understand how you call that.
Yeah, that to me is not the correct spirit of that call. Now, guys that run well inside on the grass and are still 15-20 feet from the bag and get hit by the ball, that I understand. But Marwin has been called out. Jake Marisnick supplies the offense in the 8th inning with his 3rd long ball of the year. Into the bottom of the 8th inning, Nolan Reimold leads it off. He's the 9-hitter, and he has hooked one foul to start it. So 0-1 the count. Dallas Keuchel working into the 8th has allowed a couple of runs. Just 5 hits to the O's. And when you watch this offense of Baltimore, this is a great job being put up by Dallas Keuchel. Dallas trying to win his 8th on the year. Ten career complete games for Keuchel, a couple of shutouts. Make that 4 shutouts. Little cutter is grounded foul.
Just hit the base runner. Oh,
that's all you got to do, apparently. I think it was it the first series of the year in New York where that play came up and Joe Girardi had a big beef about it. And we started getting all the interpretations of that rule that players, it really don't have to run in the baseline and the way the play is generally called and all that sort of stuff. I thought this was unfair, and I think you felt the same way on Marlin.
Yes. And apparently it's not reviewable.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. 2-2 pitch. Half swing going through is Nolan Reinbold, first out of the inning. And we check in with Julia once again.
Thank you, Ash. Are you new to Houston and looking to get to know the city better? With our Welcome to Houston package on Saturday, August 27th, you can tour Minute Maid Park and enjoy an Astros game. For tickets, visit astros.com/welcome to Houston or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. One out. Adam Jones, the leadoff man, will stand in. 1 for 3 on his night. Keuchel at 86 pitches. I would say have a nice tidy 8th inning and take a shot at going back out there for a second complete game on the year.
Would be his 11th on his career. Dallas takes pride in being that innings eater.
Ken Giles, the right-hander, getting loose in the Astros pen in left center.
There's a beautiful line as far as pitches per inning.
Try to keep it at 15 or lower, and only 1 inning at 17 above that mark.
Next pitch is 89.
Right on the fist, looper to short. Bregman cuts in front and makes the play. And 2 down in the inning.
First baseman, number 28, Steve Pearce.
And it'll bring up first baseman Steve Pearce.
Kind of looked like on that loop and line drive that the 6'4" Carlos Correa was going to lose that ball in the lights. The 6 foot Alex Bregman didn't.
Yeah, I wonder if yeah, exactly. Hey, you got to believe your stats though, right?
Oh, these media guys never lie. I was 215 my entire career.
Yeah,
and I'm sticking to it.
How far did that miss by at its largest? Oh, that's a nice job with that cutter.
Roughly 15 to 20, maybe.
Well, you know what? It might play out well in the end for Alex Bregman if he hits a bunch of home runs in the major leagues, because they're
I'm not concerned about how big he is.
No, not a bit. But 6 feet might be stretching it. 0-2 the count. Keuchel appears to be getting stronger and sharper as the game wears on. With that shift on in the infield, working in with that cutter and the slider from Keuchel, probably a great way to go after Pearce.
It's a delicate balance here at Camden Yards.
That run the Astros pick up in the top of the 8th inning, a big one in this kind of game, providing that 3-run lead now. And they just keep coming in. The count goes to 3-2. So Keuchel trying to keep from putting a man on base. Gets him with that little cut slider down and in. Couple of strikeouts in the inning, a 1-2-3 frame. And we'll take another peek at that one. 5-2 Houston.
Orioles, and time for our Geico quote of the day. We are going to go with Tommy Lasorda, who had this great quote: no matter how good you are, you're going to lose 1/3 of your games. No matter how bad you are, you're going to win 1/3 of your games. It's the other third that makes the difference. Astros 63-60 right now, so they're well into that third. But we're not sure where the Astros are going to end up this season, and of course in a very tough part of their schedule right now. It only gets tougher from here as they leave this other team that's trying to fight for a wild card spot, guys. But they have been playing well the last couple of days. It's all about momentum at this point, trying to keep it going through the end of the season.
There's a line drive dropping into left field. That off the bat of Teoscar Hernandez as he picks up his first hit of the night. Yeah, thanks, Julia. It is about getting and staying hot right now for the Astros. We've talked about the pace if they're going to keep up with that 2004 club that finished 32-10 on their season, losing the first of those 42, which is what the Astros did on the first game of this 4-game series. They're going to have to play great baseball. And
or they just continue to do what they've done in these last 2 or 3 games here in Baltimore, because they have been playing very good baseball like you're talking about.
Trying to win 3 straight over the Orioles. And in a pretty good spot to be able to do that. But you know, you don't, as players or manager or coach, have to convince everybody of what is going to get done or needs to get done. You just go out and do it one day at a time. George Springer takes a strike. Jose Altuve 1 for 4 on his night. Carlos Correa has driven in a pair of runs with a double, has 2 hits. It's a tough little cutter down and away.
Yeah, 0-2 the count. One too. Yeah. 86, 88 miles an hour. Fastball is only registering around 90, 91. Good movement.
Bridwell in his 2nd inning now on the evening and on his major league career. Springer 1 for 4 tonight, scored a run after a 5th inning single. One-handed swing drives it to left field, and that ball handled in left. Nolan Reimold with the play. First out of the inning.
Third baseman, number 2, Alex Bregman.
I'll bring up Alex Bregman, 0 for 3 with a walk. Well, you hang around all day with the rain in town, and all you can do to make it a good day is pick up a W.
Don't lose focus on the task at hand. It ain't easy.
By the way, Ken Giles continues to throw in the Astros pen. Last outing for Giles 5 days ago, and a lot of times as a manager, you just try to keep guys sharp. Maybe Keuchel doesn't go out. Runner goes, the pitch, a swing and a miss, the throw down, and they got him.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I think Teoscar Hernandez quickly points to the dugout to say, hey, take a peek at this one.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if he was out, because he got a terrible jump, but I think he might have snuck in there.
A.J. Hinch, after getting word from up in the clubhouse, we'll ask the umpires to take a peek at this.
It's a good idea. Sometimes you see the high throws, and you see that ball coming out high out of Francisco Peña's hand. And it makes it tough for the infielder to reach up and get that glove all the way back down by the time he has a chance to tag that base runner. Looks like that front foot snuck in there.
Now Teoscar thinks he's safe, so they'll review in New York.
Showing it on the big screen up here. Looks like he catches that knee.
Yeah, I think we might have seen it differently. I have a feeling that out call will stand.
It's a good look right here. The upper part of that knee, lower quad.
Pretty darn close to bang bang, but have a feeling when you break it down frame by frame like that I'll go with the out call. You saw maybe the other way?
No, I think after that replay that we just saw, that's a great view of it. calling him out. I just didn't see a good jump initially from Teoscar at all. So what are you looking forward to eating on the plane tonight?
I'm not sure I can even look at food right now. We have.
What? Are you serious?
You know, we've dined on gourmet stuff all day long, and
it's been good.
Yeah.
That's never stopped you before.
Now let's just watch Paul, see what he does. We'll follow suit with the veteran.
Well, you got to get there before he does.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I saw you hoarding those kale chips the other day.
Really? Is that right? I
For
wish
somebody that looked like that.
I wish I could claim that you're right.
I was going to let you take it and run with it.
Yeah, that would be one I could probably let somebody try to come down on me with. They're taking a good long look at this play, aren't they? What's the call going to be? The out call will stand. Teoscar is going to head to that third base dugout. Second out of the inning. And the base is empty now for Bregman. I'll let you have the kale chips tonight.
Appreciate that.
We'll swap out the next time, okay?
Okay.
I appreciate
fair.
the payment on the gourmet deep dish pizza we had just before the game got started.
I didn't want you to miss that for anything.
No. I was there ready to get it. So caught stealing. And that'll do it. A strikeout of Bregman. So only 3 hitters come to the plate in the top of the 9th inning. 5-2 Houston. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Lexus, the new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. Downtown Baltimore area finds the Astros leading over the Orioles 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Dallas Keuchel does not come out to the mound. Ken Giles comes in from the bullpen, and we'll take a look at his numbers and maybe some of the logic. Giles hadn't pitched since the 16th of the month.
Yeah, and he has been named that closer. It is a closing situation. And I think A.J. Hinch might be looking at this lineup a little bit, considering who's coming up. You've got Manny Machado, Mark Trumbo, and Jonathan Scope. Dallas Keuchel has pitched extremely well. Therefore, I think he might be saying to Dallas, hey, you pitched great. You got the lead. Let's get Ken Giles in there, get him some work. It's a tough part of the order. It'll be the 4th time that those guys get a chance to go after Dallas Keuchel. I think mixing it up, changing the arm might help him out a little bit, see if Ken Giles can close this thing out.
You know, I was impressed with Dallas Keuchel in the 8th inning, how he stayed in on the hands, especially on Pierce. And just very sharp with his pitches. To me, promising tonight as you move forward in the final month plus of the season.
Well, I think what's great about Dallas Keuchel is a couple of those ABs that you're talking about where he stayed on the inside corner. He didn't give in. He didn't try and mix it up. He stuck with his game plan and executed it. I thought it was beautiful.
Even on a 3-2 as he was able to get that final out. So Ken Giles will get that much needed work. And then you hate to label it that way, but it's all about closing this down and Doing it 1-2-3 fashion if possible. Ball and a strike on Manny Machado. 1 for 3 tonight. Had a first inning single. Grounds one, and another tough play for Bregman as he backs and makes the long throw. Plenty of arm to get it done.
Beautiful play, but just like we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And it's the guy we were just talking about, Dallas Keuchel. I'm going to give you his line on the evening, going 8 strong after a 4-hour rain delay and another half-an-hour rain delay. Still kept his composure about him. You see him working the inside part of the plate here at Camden Yards. Not afraid to go in there and do that. The slider had some great late life on it, located it where he wanted it to be, and that's why he went 8 strong, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 punch-outs. It was a very Dallas Keuchel type night.
Yeah, very much like we grew accustomed to last year. 1 out for Giles. By the way, another one of those plays for Alex Bregman where he was backed up onto the outfield grass and a good long throw to get his man. Not a big guy, plenty of power with the bat, and good strong throwing arm. 0-2 quickly now on Trumbo.
I think what makes a good infielder, but I think what makes a third baseman even better is when you anticipate ball being hit your way. Allows you to get that good first step, and we've seen Alex Bregman get those good jumps to be able to make those plays.
Some guys that don't have the throwing arm can't afford to back up on that play.
Yeah, true.
You know, you get caught coming up and having that in-between hop. Trumbo fights one off and fouls it. Looking ahead to tomorrow in that 3-game series starting in Pittsburgh with the Pirates. Doug Fister goes to the mound. Joe Musgrove follows on Tuesday. Both of those games 6:05 Central starts, 5:30 on the pregame show. And then Wednesday, a day game, 11:35 start Central Time. Colin McHugh will try to straighten things out. Chopper goes foul. You were talking about, as we headed into game 1 of this 4-game series, about one of the big needs on this club, and that was for the 2 big guys at the top of the rotation, Dallas Keuchel and Colin McHugh, to come on strong at the end of the season.
Well, they earned that responsibility by doing what they did, especially Dallas Keuchel in the last couple of years. But last year, those guys combined for 39 wins. And I think it needs to be put on them. They're the veterans in that rotation. They are the longest tenured Astros in that rotation, as far as Doug Fister being in that rotation, who has been, for me, probably the most consistent guy in that rotation. But in order to get down the stretch and get yourself into the playoffs, you need your horses. And right now, those guys are the horses.
And the horse named Keuchel really did step up tonight.
He stepped up big time.
Still 0-2. Deep to center field. Marisnick back at the track. The wall leaps, and this is out of here. There's the power of the Baltimore Orioles as Mark Trumbo hits his major league leading 37th. And the Orioles draw closer now, 5-3 in the 9th inning.
Talked about how tough this part of the lineup can be. You've got some serious thumpers in the middle. Let's check out the location on this. And what's interesting to me is a lot of these pitches are down. I might as like to have seen 98 up around the top part of the zone and see if Mark Trumbo can catch up to him, because right here he hits the ball low well.
37 bombs.
Yeah.
Giles gets in front on Jonathan Scope, who hit the other of the 2 Baltimore home runs tonight. The Astros have hit 1. That was by Jake Marisnick. And now 0-2.
Well, what's interesting about that home run, too, is it brings Chris Davis into the on-deck circle and potentially to the plate. He will come to the plate.
Ground ball to third. And another good throw from Bregman. Second out in the inning. And now down to an out as Chris Davis comes to the plate.
Join us on Friday, August 26th, and help congratulate Altuve on reaching 1,000 hits. 27,000 fans will get an Altuve 1,000 hits poster presented by Citgo. Get your tickets at Astros.com or by calling 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Ken Giles had been scoreless going to the mound in 17 of his last 18 outings. So he gives up the run tonight, but coming in with that 3-run lead, that can be excused. In fact, Giles with a 1.77 ERA since May 9th. Last 37 games. But now falls behind 2-0. And in a 2-run game, there is no way you can be satisfied with walking a man now with 2 outs and bringing up J.J. Hardy. Comes with a slider, gets the half swing. It's 2-1.
Tell you what, that wasn't one of the better sliders. It was in a good location down, but in a 2-0 count, you're facing a guy that throws 97 to 100 miles an hour. You got to reach back, turn up that dial a little bit to get ready for it, and then he breaks that thing off on you. It's not nice.
It also speaks a lot to the confidence on that slider for Giles. He comes back with it, buries it in the dirt, but still gets the swing. 2-2, and now a strike away.
Oh man, I've been there. It's not a good feeling.
Come right back to the slider.
Yeah, I think so. It at least shows you can lay off it.
2-2 pitch. Slider grounded right side. Knocked down by Marwin. Altuve with the play, and they got him. Giles alertly covering. That'll go 3-4-1 for what looks to be the final out of the game. The Orioles have asked to take a peek back in the clubhouse. And so for the moment, we hold on what could be the final out of the night. But you would have to imagine the Orioles will challenge this.
And again, Jose Altuve, Johnny on the spot being there, but that was not very good footwork by Marwin Gonzalez to try and get that ball in the center of his body, but a pretty good flip. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, that
doesn't look promising.
Yeah.
Or maybe it does.
Yeah,
that is pretty darn close.
It got better with this view, didn't it?
Well, for the Astros, yes.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Giles did a great job at getting over there, planted himself on that bag, and actually gave Altuve a good target to come get. But from that angle right there,
I'm not sure that's changeable there.
Yeah, that one looks safe, but I'm not sure. That other angle made it look like the Astros could get it. And again,
so they do review back in New York. I'm not even sure why Buck Showalter waited to find out from the clubhouse.
I was thinking the same thing.
Just throw out the appeal right away.
It's the last out of the game.
Yeah. One more peek at this play.
Make sure that Ken Giles has control of this baseball too. I mean, that's pretty darn close to a tie.
That is. Been a couple of close calls down there at first base this evening. They'll stay with that out call. Nothing that said they could change the call, and so the Astros get the final call of the ball game and win it 5-3 over the Baltimore Orioles, and a big one, as these Orioles were playing pretty good baseball, and yet the Astros win 3 out of 4, 6 out of 7 on the season series. Dallas Keuchel picking up a W. Ken Giles gets the save, and it all just says pleasant flight for the Astros now on to Pittsburgh after a long day at the yard. That final again, 5-3 Houston.